Hello, I'm Thursday, this is Monday Nights Get Nuked, and once again, we are returning to Twitch, because that's where we are. So, without any further ado, having introduced who I am, I shall go and point that way. Because everything's mirrored, and I still haven't got it. And you see over there's a shiny new person. Isn't that interesting? But before we go through all introductions and shit like that, we should really do some rules for chat, because you're out there in Chatland and there's already some chat up, which is nice. People are saying, when is it starting? Thanks. So, the rules for chat are great.
Don't be at all about someone's gender. Don't be at all about someone's race. Don't be at all. Or a screwdriver.
There we are. That was almost like it was practiced. That was amazing. So yes, just generally do not be at all, in any way, shape, form, angle. Just don't do it. So yeah, there we are. We are once again playing NUKED, which is a setting of the spiced system, which we wrote. Hey, so yeah, that's that. We will be going back to the previous games that we've been playing, which is part of the campaign called Long Road Home. This is one of the prologues we're running for it, called Scum, which, appropriately enough, is about a bunch of scummy buggers who nick stuff and, generally avoid gainful work.
Nick, we appropriate.
We appropriate. Sell on the same people and that sort of general thing.
Yeah. So yeah. Work shy, grafters, or grifters. Is probably the better answer there.
Yeah, don't confuse the two. Ooh.
Well, I don't know. You can graft at grifting.
I know, but the grafters don't generally appreciate being appropriated with the grifters. They don't like it.
Yeah. There needs to be a greater variance in spelling on those two. Anyway, so there we are. Once again, I've said I'm thirsty, but who else is here? Ooh, shall we see? Well, you can see already they've got names underneath them. But Right, so who are we playing tonight is probably more important. So we shall start with Tech.
I will be playing Heinz tonight, the rotter who is somewhat despairing of his rotting appearance, so likes to make himself more pretty by applying, coverings to himself.
Yes, so like a decaying Tim Gunn. Wonderful. So there we are. We have a rotter who likes to sew gloves onto his hands so people can't see him being all yucky. He's missing a finger and a toe because he can't ride bikes. So next we shall have. Oh, why not? Let's have Lilith.
So I am playing another rotter, aren't I? I think. I can't remember. Let me bring up the character sheet.
Oh, this is...
Yes, a rotter who's a tech pervert, and she is called Blossom. See, I do remember my character. Okay. Honest.
Excellent. You want to give us?
I do also remember she doesn't wear underwear.
She doesn't wear underwear, but if she did, it would be pink.
Yes.
As we confirmed last time.
Yes.
So, what's a new miscellaneous detail about her?
That's a good question. She wears very scuffed black steel-capped boots.
That seems appropriate and very sensible.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we are. No underwear, loves pink, but wears black boots. Pink were available. Didn't go for them. There we are. So we should go to Spanners. So we've had all the experienced folk show Brassy how it's done.
Okay, I am Spanners. I'm going to put the spelling of my name into the chat. I have been reliably informed this is pronounced Saoirse or Saoirse, not Saoirse as I was pronouncing it last time, when in actual fact she pronounced it Soras because she is a post-gen and not particularly clever, but somebody has, yes, it's Irish, and it's on her bag. It's been written on her bag, in fact, sewn onto her bag as a name tag. She's not very good at reading, so pronounce it Soros, but she does have a little friend whose name is Cecil, who is a magpie. And from last time, we discovered that she's rather adept at holding onto beards until they are forcibly removed.
Yes. And also, Cecil has rather a love for shiny things.
He does, and
a very posh man's voice.
Oh yes, Cecil has a posh man's voice.
Yes, shinies. So, last but by no means least, the first time on stream, despite actually being a playtester when we first wrote the system.
All those years ago.
Yes, all those many years ago. 3.
Like I say, scheduling conflicts.
Yes, that's a terrible name for your children, but okay.
Scheduling conflicts. What do you mean?
Yes, introduce yourself. Who should you be playing? Who are you? What's an interesting detail about your character?
Okay, so hello, I'm Brass. My character tonight is going to be Lucky Dan, sort of generic human sort of hang on to things, and they could hang on to things. Random detail, you say?
Yep.
Sort of thing we're looking for here.
Just a random detail that's not going to be stated on his sheet anywhere. Something about him as a person.
Oh, about him as a person. Okay, no worries. Damn you. Okay, right. Random detail. Well, let's think of something on the spot here. Okay, doesn't like wearing hats, anything covering his head. There we go.
Excellent. Lucky Dan does not like wearing hats. Hat hater. I shall write in here. Hates hats.
Better underline that as well. That might come up later at some point. Yeah. I forget about it.
There we are. Hat hater. So now, when I want you to hate someone, I'm going to make sure they wear a hat. So there we are.
Why would you want to hide your head?
Exactly. It's just so dishonest.
Exactly.
Says the man in the bandana.
That's the thing. This is out of mind.
Yeah. See. Ooh.
Oh, this is me trying to think as a different person.
Yeah.
That's
me. That's some top level RP there. So right. So now we have our players and me. We shall establish what we were doing. So last session, you'd all wandered off the road between Waterville and Pete's, where you'd recently recovered some interesting technological items. You'd discovered a large bush with a fire inside it. It looked like a nice place to sort of, get out of the weather and look safe. And within it, you found a corking great enormous post-gen with a magpie. Yeah. Who seemed quite nice and pleasant and helpful. During the night, your wonderful prophet, Bob, snuck off and spotted another attack on the road by the things that defeated things that attacked the caravan that you looted the previous day. He came back and screamed about it and ran off, taking his bike and his frog with him. Apparently, having had his goddamn beard nearly pulled off, he didn't feel like staying. Strange that.
It wasn't pulled off, he cut it off.
Oh yeah, he pulled it nice and tight.
Or was it a knife?
You pulled it nice and tight.
Your knife.
Yeah, it was a knife. I remember because we talked about it, and I went like, "What, like this one?" And you went, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay." Yeah. So there we are. Prophet Bob has jumped on Squeaker and ridden off in search of safety or whatever. you know, he's an inscrutable fella. But yeah, he's hopped on Squeaker and ridden out the other side of the bush, up the hill. You know, his mighty leg muscles. As we established, he is truly a man of iron from the thighs down. He powers off over the hill. So it's night time. There's just been an attack out on the road. You've had a nice dinner of baked scuzzle, and you've bedded down for the night. Yeah, we are. And Brass, we will come to you when I can get these cats herded in the correct direction to introduce a
That's
character.
So I'm going to just enjoy the show.
Yeah. Like a day. So, here you are. You're around your campfire. Prophet Bob's just ridden through on Squeaker like, they're here!
Is it still dark?
Yeah. It's the middle of goddamn night.
How far off is it? Like, is it pre-dawn or is it still middle of the night, dark?
It's still the middle of the night.
Okay.
Now, you've been asleep for a few hours. A good few hours. You feel fairly refreshed. But it's still determinedly dark.
And have the sounds of fighting faded away now?
I don't think you ever really heard them.
Okay.
You guys were asleep. Bob heard them.
Well, in that case, I just turn around to everyone else and go, should we go and take a look? I mean, there was some pretty good stuff on that shipment we found yesterday. If this is the same kind of thing, we might get lucky and get a second shipment.
It's dark. It's dark. And it's dark, so no. We're staying here. Oh, I'm staying here.
I guess we could wait until the morning.
Safer.
All right, fair enough. Can wait until the morning and go down there when the light rises.
Yeah, I curl back up under whatever it is I'm sleeping in and try and get back to sleep.
So what Soros is doing as well?
So Soros had taken her newly acquired beard and made it into a new beard nest that goes into the bag with the rest of them, which she has undisclosed that she has. So it's completely dark at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, there is a moon, but
if it is completely dark, then she knows that she has to be asleep.
okay, fair enough. So yeah, you hear Prophet Bob riding off over the hill. You hear his you hear Squeaker squeak. You hear his bells ringing. Ding-a-ding-a-ding, ding-a-ding-a-ding. And you all basically look at each other, go, and fall back to goddamn sleep, like the true heroes you are.
Yeah, like that lunatic's finally lost it and sailed off into their eyes. And lucky he didn't have anything valuable on him.
Yeah, like that. So yeah, you all like the bold and true heroes you are, bed down and try and get a solid 8. So
seems to be too scary and dark for people to go outside, so I don't want to go out alone.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, you all get a solid night in. Cecil occasionally patters around the camp. Pops out of his nest. You hear him sort of darting off and grabbing things in the dark occasionally. Shinies. But apart from that, it's fairly uneventful. So yeah, the morning comes. Who wakes up first?
I'll wake up. I probably would have been only lightly dozing anyway because I'm waiting for the sun to rise. so I can go over and inspect the thing below.
Okay. So you're basically like sitting under your covers like a kid at Christmas morning. It's like...
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's like the faintest suggestion the sun is coming up, and
he's there.
Yeah. And you like, are you going to like try and sneak off and get the best shit for you, or
no? I'm just going to get up,
wake everyone else up.
As soon as it's bright enough that I can see, I'll be like, right, come on, let's get up. Early bird gets the worm.
Okay. By the time you've got up, although Soros knows that she's not allowed to be out of bed, she has been awake for a while, and she has made a sort of blanket fort. So all you can kind of see is this figure with a blanket over the top of her.
Are you standing with a blanket over your head?
No, she's sat cross-legged on the floor with the blanket over top. But sort of like a makeshift tent, but she is the pole.
Okay.
Okay. So you've assumed like the universal sort of standard of the kid with the iPad. Over the top, yeah. Okay.
It's just pretty much Christmas morning, is that he can't wait to get up. She's there waiting for it to be time when she's allowed up.
Okay. What about Blossom?
Oh, she's asleep.
Okay, excellent. Blossom group mum is asleep. Yeah, that's fine. Makes sense to me. Okay. So yeah,
she has learnt to get as much sleep as you possibly can when you can.
Yeah. That's a valuable trick. Many people in times of stress have learned to master this one. So yeah, you two are awake. Blossom's got enough.
Snoring.
I was going to say Blossom's got enough exposure to snore even if she doesn't normally. So yeah, Blossom's laying there, snoring like broken industrial equipment. So yeah, you two are sitting there, just like over the fire. The fire's like still got a few embers. There's a little bit of like smoke drifting out. It's enough to like keep you warm if you're near it, but like it's not like broadcasting your position much.
Yeah.
So you're just both sitting there staring. What are you doing?
I'm going to wake everyone up. We want to get up there and start, checking out the wreckage before someone else beats us to it.
Okay. So what are you doing?
I'm just going to go round and give Blossom's foot a kick. It's like, come on, up. You don't want that tech to be taken by someone else.
Good point.
Get to it.
She scrabbles up, groans because her leg still hurts a bit from falling off a bike.
Yeah. Yes, you do look markedly like you look better. The night's done you good, but you still look pretty much like you've been dragged through a bush backwards. So yeah, Soros, how's Soros taking this take charge attitude from Heinz?
I guess she's sort of kind of going to go along with it. As long as Cecil isn't upset, she's just kind of going to follow. But sure. Where's the frog friend?
He's gone ahead to scout.
Yay, we're going to find him. Find the frog friend. Come on, Cecil.
Maybe.
Shinies. Cecil like flies to the opening of the bush where there's like a little track out. He's just waiting for all of you.
Oh, I will stride on out there.
Cool. As she goes, she's going to take one of her sticks that she had that she was skewering puzzles with, and she's going to kind of stick it in the trees like this, and come out with a load of beetles on, and just kind of offer it round like it's like perfectly normal. Breakfast.
It's a bit early for me. I'll wait until after we've checked out this caravan.
Same. Yeah.
Breakfast, crunchy, and just kind of follow on.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you are making your way back to the road, sort of down the stream, or are you going?
I'm going to head like directly down the hill towards the road.
Yeah. Okay.
Or where we saw the wreckage, or where we heard the crazed prophet shouting that it was.
Yeah, well, you just heard him shout there was something on the road, so yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you're all heading on out. This sort of disconcerting sound like someone scrunching burnt toast behind you. Or I don't know. Does Soros, is she in the habit of peeling the beetles, or is it just a?
No, she's kind of picking them off like sweets.
Okay, yeah. It's like candied beetles.
Mm.
Lovely. Joyful. So yeah, you.
You made lumpy beer. How was it doing?
True. Yeah, I did make lumpy beer. The lumpy beer has historical precedent. Damn it. So yeah, you're making your way back to the road. You follow the stream a little bit, and then when you start to recognise where you are a bit more, you just sort of head on back over the low rise, and make your way back down to the road. Just like yesterday, you can see like there's like wispy smoke to the south of you from here. It looks like the caravan you passed yesterday, going the other way, was attacked in the night. Not too far from where the other caravan was attacked, in fact.
Okay.
Gonna have a quick look to see if there are any living people or dead bodies.
You're not there yet. You're just standing on the road looking in that direction. Sort of.
Yeah, because we passed them a way back, didn't we? So.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, I mean, that guy didn't look like he really had anything valuable on him. But
yeah. Plus, if we go back towards that way, it's going to take us twice as long to get to Pete's.
Yeah. I mean, considering that last time they burnt, it's obviously been burned again, which was, it would have destroyed anything valuable. And I can't imagine that whoever was carrying that tech is going to randomly decided to send a wagon back full of tech again. So maybe we should leave that enough to Pete's.
As much as I am interested in what could be there, I think, we need to head to Pete's.
Okay. We'll head to Pete's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So you turn your back on whatever tasty loot might have been sitting in that man's wagons. You disregard the delicious opportunities. Every bone in your scaver's body tells you this is a terrible idea, but you do it anyway because you want beer. Which is
and also to find that like the rest of those wagons full of tech that went in this direction.
Fair enough. So yeah, you head north, and so it was about half a day. So didn't we? So yeah, you head along, and it's probably just before midday that you all finally like trudge in, because two of you aren't in the greatest shape. Just before midday, you sort of trudge on into Pete's. You pass the old broken down cars that form a small wall. You enter into like a small stand of trees, and in amongst all of these trees, there is like an old cottage and an open air bar with lots of sort of outside seating. And there's a few sort of they're almost sheds, but they don't really have enough walls. It could be a covered patio, but that just sounds too nice. People have erected roofs over some of the outside seating, because the weather is not all too pleasant at times, and sometimes it's downright deadly. So yeah, you've arrived back at Pete's. You can see there's a fair number of people here, maybe sort of 10 or 15, just sitting around. You can see Pete, the famous individual that runs and owns this place, standing behind the bar with a younger man who looks an awful lot like him, sort of running around in the background. From the cottage, you can see there's like smoke coming from the chimney, and the wonderful smell of stew. Yeah, this is pretty much what this place looks like most of the time.
Cool. I'm gonna walk up to the bar.
Okay. That's right. Yeah. Strolling up the bar. What's everyone else doing? I'm gonna grab a table, strike up a conversation.
I'm going to have a quick look around to see if those carts are still there, or whether the carts have been through.
Okay. What do you want to argue me for that? Do you just want to go for a straight perception, or?
Good question.
Do you want to use do you want to argue a knowledge from having been here before, or?
Yeah, I think knowledge. Ooh, no.
I mean, if you're operating in this area a lot, Pete's would be like the central hub of the area. This is sort of the no questions asked place. People come together and trade and drink.
Yeah, I think knowledge.
Okay, yeah. Roll it up.
That's a 10.
10. So you while Heinz walks off sort of into the bar area, you may take a detour round to the other side of the cottage, where you know from past experience, like this is where people tend to leave the wagons. It's far enough away that they can, if you're at the bar, you can see people going to the wagons, sort of thing. But it's close enough that if something happens, you can get there quick. And as you go around, you can see there's 3 or 4 wagons there. One's sort of broken down a bit. It looks damaged. And you can see like there's a team of dogs tied up. They've got like a feed trough with like leftovers in it. As you're saying, you can see that one of the wagons has a team of large pigs tied up to it, which is a little unusual, but hey, if it works. And on this wagon, you see a human. Brass.
Okay. Which one am I on again? One of the pigs or one of the...
Yep, you're sitting on the wagon with the pigs.
Okay. Excellent stuff, yeah. So I think I've just rolled up essentially and just setting it out to go again or something.
Well, it's midday. You might have stopped off for lunch.
Oh, go for that then.
Yeah. So yeah, describe your character. What does this character look like?
Okay. What does he look like? Okay. So average sort of height, sort of like short cropped sort of brown hair, really sort of dishevelled sort of look to him there, really sort of mismatched sort of clothes and sort of stuff. I say he's got some fully repaired trousers, somehow a matching pair of boots, and what time of year is this?
It's sort of early to mid autumn.
Yeah, he's got like a bit of a stained sort of green jumper or something on, something like that. It's a real sort of odd looking sort of mix. I go with clean shaven and definitely not wearing a hat.
Excellent. Yes. There you are. That is who you see. Seems to be the only person sitting by the wagons.
I am going to completely ignore him and get a little bit closer to the broken wagon, the one that looks a bit damaged.
Okay.
Because my theory is that it's a little bit damaged because it was attacked.
Okay. So yeah, you're gonna stop and examine a wagon, right?
Yep.
What's Soros doing?
So she has been searching and scuffling around in the dirt to see if she can find any shiny things for Cecil. But she sees the pigs, and like the small child that she is going to march straight up to them and start petting one of them and say hello.
Okay. Yes, yeah. Got petting zoo. We've got mysterious, sneaky person entering town and immediately going and sniffing around people's cars, and someone going toward the bar. So right, yeah, Heinz, you wander up to the bar. Pete's there. There's a younger fella operating sort of the younger fella's on the far right hand side, over by where closer to the wagons, that sort of side. And Pete's down on the left. He's currently dealing with a rather baity looking overweight chap who's got sort of patchy grey hair, who seems to be complaining about his food. You get the feeling you've walked in on the end of the conversation, but essentially what you catch is, or you'll fucking wear it.
Cool. I'll just wait for Pete to stop haranguing his clientele and then grab his attention.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah. You stand there for about sort of 7 minutes. The younger chap comes past. He comes near, and he does that thing that bartenders who don't really want to be bartenders do. If he stands just out of your eye line and makes like weak gestures of, so what do you want? In the manner of someone who wants to look like they're doing their job without having to do it. Maybe someone who's working for their family. So he stands sort of 3 steps, to your right, or to your left, his right, really, and and gestures at the beer and gestures at like the vat of stew. Yeah. Just
I'll be like, can I have a beer and a vat of stew, please?
You want the old vat?
Well,
bloody hell.
A bowl.
Yeah, well, sounds a bit better. And he picks up a tankard, kind of like this, and he dips it into the stew, and he decants that into a bowl, and he puts that on the table, and he takes the tankard and like just shakes it upside down and fills it with beer. So it's still got a fair degree of gravy on it. He flops that down. He's just on tack.
Cool. So, would you be interested in this in trade? And I pull out my lunchbox that I found on the side of the road yesterday, which I believe was in good condition.
He looks at it like he basically at this point he looks like a Saturday boy that you've just offered a £50 note to. Yeah.
Cool.
Is that what you want for it?
Well, there was one other thing I was hoping you might be able to tell me about. There was a wagon came through, I think, yesterday.
Yep, there's a few of those.
Yeah. How many came through yesterday?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a dozen.
Did they all head north?
No, there were 2 heading north, 1 south.
Okay. And have you had any problems on the road around here recently? Any bandits, things like that?
Well, I live there. Like, points at the cottage.
Yeah.
So I haven't had any trouble on the road. I mean, I wasn't even supposed to be here today. So you could ask Dad or Mick. He's over there. He points at another like slightly older young guy who's over like waiting tables.
Yeah.
Well, he's collecting up mugs.
Yeah.
And taking his sweet ass time about it. Yeah, it's like, you know, I don't really travel. But yeah, I've heard them grumbling about it.
Yeah, so I thought you might hear some tales from the caravan drivers.
Oh no, I'm not allowed tales, me. Mum will have my guts. You know, they don't normally let me talk to people.
Okay. Well, in that case, if you can, if you just grab for this one, if I can just have a couple more beers for my colleagues, then I will leave you to get back to your job.
All right, and he goes back to the one of the 4 big barrels. There's 2 either side of this big stew pot, and he's like, he looks back as in like, which one do you want? And then you see him remember, fuck, they're all the same. He fills 3 mugs because he doesn't know how many people you have with you.
Yeah.
It's just like, does that thing where you hold one and you grip them, like you push them against the one in the middle.
Yeah.
And he puts them down. He's like, is that enough? How many people are you traveling with?
Yeah, there's 3 more.
Oh, okay. And he goes back and gets 3 more mugs. Fills them. He comes back like, is that's right? Yeah.
Yep, that's it. Thanks.
Excellent.
And I'll slide the lunchbox over to him.
Oh, cool. Picks it up and he sort of waves it like quickly, like someone who's attempting to look like they're giving like a good appraising eye of something.
Yeah.
But he clearly has no idea what he's looking at. It's like, it's a box.
Nice looking box.
Yeah, it's nice. You see him like turn around, he puts it down. He tries to put some stuff in it, but it's not very big. And he kind of shrugs and walks over to the other end of the bar.
That's cool. I'm gonna sit here eating my stew and drinking my beer and waiting for everyone else to come join me because I'd assume they will follow me into the bar.
Yeah. So there you are with your bowl of stew and 7 beers.
Yeah.
Excellent. That sounds like a good breakfast. It's sort of a late brunch at this point. I don't know. Where's the dividing line between late brunch and early lunch?
I wouldn't say there was a line. I think it just depends on like what kind of person you are, whether you'd call it early lunch or brunch.
Okay, so you're a strict advocate for the meal continuum. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, there we are. So yeah, right. We shall cut back to the wagon crew, as it. Right. So, Lucky Dan, you're sitting on your wagon. 2 strange folk have just turned up. One has like nosed around, like they've seen you and immediately like turned around and walked off.
One's a bit shifty. The other one's gone, pigs! Just made a big...
Yeah. The first one, the shifty one, seems to be examining someone else's wagon that's damaged.
Wagon?
In the shiftiest way.
Yeah, kind of like a shift. Someone shifty is like nosing around the car park, looking at like the vehicle that looks like it might be easy to break into.
I just watch them sort of just go to this thing there, and as they've turned around, just not ignoring them, but just sort of, I know you're there, but I'm not paying attention to you right now.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. And an enormous mountain of a lady has come over and started petting like your lead Sal.
Basher.
Yeah. Rashka. Cool. Like you know for a fact that your pigs aren't really up for being handled much. But apparently they seem to be getting away with it at the moment. It's up to you what you want to do at this point.
Yeah. You seem to be quite lucky there. Bash doesn't normally take to people.
I like your pigs. What are their names?
Can you come back? How many pigs have I got at the moment there?
3.
3. Oh, there's Basher, back, and middle.
I like the little one.
Oh, that's middle.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Dan. Some people call me Lucky Dan, but Dan will do.
My friends are over there. Do you want to say hello to them?
Well, I've just got to keep an eye on this on the cart here and the pigs, but I dare say I can come and say hello in a bit.
And she's just going to wander off. And she's going to wander off to Blossom and like call Blossom's name in the only way that she knows how, despite the fact that Blossom's trying not to be seen. Blossom, found a friend. Come and say hello. He's got pigs.
That's nice. I'm just checking to see if this is the cart we were looking for.
Has it got the shinies?
Shinies.
Possibly got shinies, but I don't know without looking.
Which cart are you looking for? Might have seen it.
A damaged one?
Look at the obviously damaged because it's definitely damaged.
Yeah, that's why I'm checking it out.
Okay, I'll leave you to it then.
Thanks.
God. Okay. So yeah, you're so Lucky Dan's just sitting there, watching the pigs, checking out the creepy people who are checking out the broken down vehicle.
Yeah.
So yeah, this broken down cart, it looks like the wheel is buckled, and it's been put up on blocks while someone's gone and had lunch. They're gonna deal with it later. Fuck it. You can't see a team of animals to pull it anywhere. There's a team of dogs, but there aren't enough for all of these wagons, sort of thing. And it seems to have just been stripped out and emptied. It's got a tarp over it, over the back. But from sort of what you can see, sort of quickly having a peek, is there are deep furrows in some of the boards around the back. It looks like the damage on the wheel has been done by it going too fast.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like it's been attacked by the same thing as the cart we saw the other day.
It looks like it was driven recklessly fast, at least.
Yeah, it was driven recklessly fast. It has sustained damage, possibly because of that, and there are pieces missing of the back.
Cool. Blossom's just going to wander into the pub to have a word with Heinz.
Okay. So yeah, you wander off. All right. Soras and Dan, you're sitting, you're standing around in the wagon park. What's Soras doing?
She's sort of standing there. She's torn between going in with her friends and saying hello to the pigs again. She's going to go in. But she is going to invite Dan to go with them. My friends have gone in. Are you going to come in? You can bring the pigs. Bring the little one.
I'm not allowed in anymore. They're barred. They've got to stay out here.
Oh, all right. Can I leave Cecil to look after them?
Who's Cecil?
Cecil's my friend.
Can I see Cecil at this point? Or just looking around vaguely in case there's anyone else I haven't seen?
She's going to hold her hand out and then let Cecil stand.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
A rather tatty magpie flutters over, lands on the hand. It's quite big for a magpie, but very tatty. It looks sort of almost recklessly overfed. But you've never seen a more intelligent-looking overweight magpie. It looks at you with a sparkle of genuine understanding in its eyes.
Okay. In which case, I'll hop down off the cart there, just put my hand in my pocket, just rummage around and just find some crumbs of tack, which accumulate anywhere like biscuits have a tendency to do. Put those up on the cart and go ahead in.
Yes. Ursula immediately just hops off Grace and grabs the food.
Yeah.
Good. It's one of the first times you've heard him say something other than shinies. And friend. I think he said friend before.
He did say friend.
Yeah.
Yes, that's because, in fact, he said friend, which is what stopped Soros from stabbing everyone, I think.
Possibly. That sounds about right. Yes. Yeah, there you are. You've successfully made friends with a magpie.
That's going on the street, that is. There you go.
So there you are. Are you heading on into the pub, or are you... What now?
Let's go one last look at the cart to make sure there's sort of no one else skulking round after Blossom there. But I'm assuming it looks clear now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As you hop down off the cart, a rail thin human with like a shit little like pencil moustache. Wearing a great big woolly hat, and like a long coat that like it's clearly been brushed in the way that when you've got like a shitty old coat and it's worn out, but people still brush it trying to get all the like the little bits of bubbles off and stuff. So you end up just ripping the fabric up loads. So clearly he's trying to look nice. He storms on over and is like, "I told you to stay with the wagon, Dan. I don't pay you to wander off and have a pint."
Oh, okay. Right. Well, looks like I've still got some work to do. I'll see you guys later. I'll get back onto the cart then.
Yeah, this guy he stands there and berates you for a little while. Oh, I can't just pop away to get lunch without without my driver nipping off. Get pissed. Oh, fucking wagon drivers! You can't trust them. They're all so scruffy. And where's your hat? I bought you a perfectly good hat. If you're going to be working for me, you have to wear the hat. And he reaches into the wagon. And he pulls out a hat, and it's like a shitty baseball cap, and on the front it's got Brian written on it, which is his name. He makes everyone wear his Brian's hat.
Just hold it until this bloke goes away.
He does that horrible thing that overreaching bosses do. So he goes in and he adjusts it badly and just whacks it down on your head. And that slapping motion you can do with a really starchy cap. But it's not really starchy, it's more old and crusty. In that way that all horrible American baseball caps get, where the front band gets all musty and wet.
Gunky, yeah.
Yeah. He slaps it on. He's like, "If I see you without that hat again, you're fired. I will drive the wagon myself."
So let's look around at this point. I'm just generally thinking, do I need this job? Fuck it, I'll take the hat off. I'm just going to throw it on the ground. And the pigs walk inside.
"You can't do this to me. I'm Brian. I'm the most powerful trader in town."
How big is Brian?
Oh, Brian is a horrible little streak of piss. He's stick thin. He's probably a towering 5'6".
Awesome.
He's got greasy lank hair that dangles out one side under his great big wool hat. It's got Brian embroidered on the front.
With Soros being a post-gem, who's now made a friend, she's going to pick Brian up by his... What's he wearing?
He's wearing He's wearing like a really battered old tailcoat.
Okay.
Like it's made of like quite heavy fabric.
Oh, so it's got like a good scruff.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. So she's basically just going to pick him up, not in a overtly threatening manner, but more in a sort of, you know how small children they pick animals up and you look at them and go no.
Oh yeah.
And then sort of pick him up and go, that's my friend. Stop shouting.
Do you want to roll a dice on that one, or are you
Yeah.
just going to pick someone
I
else?
am rolling a dice.
Is there any way he doesn't find this intimidating?
He is going to be intimidated for 11.
11.
Not natural.
Remarkably, Brian seems to keep his composure. In that way of people who are used to, like unlikable people who are used to people being angry with them. Like, he just stays like infuriatingly calm. Like, put me down. I won't stand for this. I'm Brian.
Awesome. I think we need to check stream elements. Corone might be interfering with the game.
Oh, damn it. Corone, who did you give a legendary point to?
You're going to need to tell us.
Of course.
Marvellous. Okay, so she's made a friend, and it's two legendary points for you. Say you do it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Has to be possible and within reason.
It has to be possible. That's absolutely fine. She doesn't want to do anything too overtly awful, but what she does want to do is she just wants to look at him, like twist him around a little bit, turn him upside down, and go, "Ooh," and just chuck. And she's going to lob him through the door.
Through the door? What door?
Well, no, away from the bar. We're just away from her.
Okay.
We're outside.
And directly
We're outside, aren't
away.
we? Yes, just directly away. She's just going to throw him like a sort of unwanted. I want to say book. That's not right. No one throws books.
An unwanted toy.
Yes,
Yes.
like a teddy bear.
Yeah. Yes.
But the legendary points are not to kill him. She doesn't want to hurt him. She just wants to move him away.
Okay. Yeah. You throw him. You throw this this absolute tosspot who's full of his own importance. Who says things like "I'm Brian" all the time because he feels that gains him cachet somehow. Rather than just making him sound like a complete twat. But yes, you throw him. You throw him quite hard. You throw him through his wagon. Like he hits the covered part at the back and just goes through the canvas. And you hear sort of a squelch. And he's either landed in something truly horrible inside the wagon, or he's landed on something unfortunate on the other side of the wagon. And the pigs aren't having any of this sort of commotion, and they start they start pulling at the little stake that's been driven into the ground on it, and eventually the rope just snaps and they wander off. The wagon goes with them.
Bye, Brad.
And
bye, pigs.
You can see Brad's just laying there in the mud, and probably pig shit.
Hopefully pig shit.
Yeah. Just looking dejected. But this can't happen to me. I'm Brian.
Blossom's going to wander over to Heinz and just say to him, "This one's a bit more useful than that bloody prophet."
Have we, from where I'm sitting, have I been able to see this, or has it been behind the building?
It's the other side of the building from where you are.
Okay. So I probably can't see or hear anything except the occasional "I'm Brian."
Yeah, you'll probably be able to hear "I'm Brian" and probably some like noises of like agitated pigs.
Yeah. But, okay, so I'll talk to Boss and say, "What did you find?" I'll offer you a beer as well because I've got 6 spare.
I thankfully take a beer, take a nice long swig of it, and just go, well, there's a cart that's been driven to destruction out there. A cart pulled by pigs, and an idiot called Brian who's just been thrown through his cart.
Okay. Is his cart? Is he leaving soon?
Well, his cart's gone. He's not. But he's not the cart we're interested in.
No, but it said the cart you found that had been damaged to destruction. Is there anything in it still?
No, it's empty.
Were there any other carts here?
Another one.
Was there anything in that one?
Didn't look.
Okay. I guess either the stuff's here or it's been carried on further north. I guess if there are people specifically looking for this tech, which could well be why people have been hiding on these roads the last couple of nights, because it's kind of unusual to be moving around after dark. And I assume these people were probably looking for this. So we could see if we can kind of follow after the next time they attack a wagon and see where they've gone, because they've probably got like a little hoard somewhere that would be quite valuable.
Oh, that's true.
So, I mean, if we could find this pig wagon and kind of follow at a safe distance and see if someone jumps him, then we might be able to follow them back to wherever it is their hideout is.
I like your thinking. And the driver just happens to be out there.
Cool. Maybe best not to tell him about this if he's going to be driving it. But...
That's true. I'll let you do the talking.
Okay. I'll sit back and wait for everyone else to join us.
Hey, Soros and Lucky Dan, what are you guys doing?
Well, I've now left my job. I'm going to go and get a drink. Working out what to do.
Well, you do currently have Brian sitting there dejected in the mud. Like, if you wanted to, say, collect your severance pay...
I've already collected it.
Preemptive severance pay. That's why you stayed with the wagon. Excellent. Yes, you have a new friend and a world of possibilities. So are you both going back to the pub? Or...
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Yes, you wander back into the pub. There's Heinz and Blossom and a lot of beer. And a probably empty bowl of stew.
Yeah, stew's gone by now.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you guys all doing? Are you going to talk? You're going to buy a meal? You're going to put your feelers out, find out what's going on elsewhere? Dan, are you going to try and get a job?
I'm going to offer Ross a pint.
Cool. She's going to sit there. What are the pints actually in? What are the are they glasses? Are they
pewter or like some with clay thing with it? Something like that?
It's very much a mismatch. It's normally wood or clay. I mean, occasionally there's something made of pewter, or it's just like a repurposed old can.
Okay. Yeah, so she's going to take the beer, and or sort of, I suppose, sort of take and just kind of stare it with her finger and listen to the conversation.
Okay, cool. And Lucky, if you walked in as well.
Yeah, I've come in afterwards.
I'll see you and go, oh, would you like a pint? And I'll gesture to like the 4 pints left on the bar.
Well, that's why I'm called. That's why they call me Lucky. Thank you for the pint of.
No problem.
Yeah.
I hear you're a wagon driver.
Oh, I've been known to drive wagons if needed. Do you have a wagon you want moved or anything like that?
No, I just I wondered when it was you were planning on heading out.
Well, soon, definitely soon. I've got a wagon at the moment though, but I'm planning on leaving soon.
Oh, okay. I thought you were driving one of the wagons.
Yeah, I was. Until very recently. I'm now looking for a new line of work, but yeah.
Oh, you're up for an employment. In that case, we're going to be going on a little excursion soon. You could come along with us if you like. Cucumber, do you have any obvious weapons or anything on you? Like,
Cucumber, am I allowed to have any obvious weapons on me?
Yes.
Okay.
it might be foolish not to have them at this point.
Okay. In which case, I'll just like a what should we go for? Let's go for a little breaker bar or something like that.
Okay.
Small metal lead-ring hitting stick type of thing.
Okay. Do you have a gun or anything? Or
No.
Okay. Fair enough. So there's I don't know if you've heard, but there's been a couple of incidents on the road where wagons being attacked.
Yeah, I've heard a few of them have been attacked there. Not sure what by, but they've left in a bit of a rush.
Yeah, no, we're not sure what by either, but we think they could well end up. They might have quite a decent little trove they've built up. So we were going to follow along behind one of the wagons, see if it gets attacked by someone, and then try and follow whoever takes the things away to see if we can find anything worth salvaging.
Okay, so we skulk about, see who takes it away and see what they leave, or just try and follow them. Or?
See where they go, try and follow them. Because say if there's any kind of valuable tech around there, it'd be a shame to leave it in the hands of such villainous people.
Yeah, I've followed them with people before, so yeah, happy to give that a go again.
Okay, cool.
When are you heading out?
Well, as soon as one of the next. Well, actually, what time is it? It's still like midday now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the next time a wagon goes out, if we kind of let them go ahead a bit, and then we'll follow them down the road slowly, because it seems to be that these attacks happen after dark, or at least later.
Cucumber, firstly, having worked on one of these wagons with one of these traders, would I have any ideas of what might be heading out soon, or what might be a particularly precious cargo on its way out to maybe suggest to follow instead?
To be fair, Pete's is like an arterial trade route between like the Central Desolation, Luz in like the centre which supplies all the beer.
Yeah.
And like the outlaying ports, and the north. So
pretty much anything will do.
Most things will come through here eventually. You do know, however, that Brian's wagon just left. Admittedly, without a driver, and what was Brian carrying? You were the driver. You would have seen.
Oh, I'm going to choose. Okay, what should we have been carrying there? I don't know. Let's. I think.
Well, what did Brian let you see that he was carrying?
Ah, that's it. As far as I know, Brian was just carrying like sort of bits of toolage and scrap, really. Old junk, mostly. That's all I saw.
Yeah, like a bit of junk.
Well, if he's been quick and is able to get back on his wagon, we can always follow that one.
Yeah, I mean, if we...
Pigs don't go that quickly, but he's a bit lazy as Brian. He won't be running that hard.
As you say this, you can hear being like shouted from the other side of the cottage, like, "Come back here, you porcine bastards! You can't do this to me! I'm Brian!"
Yeah, that's him.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, let's drink these up and head off then.
Yay, piggies!
Okay, I'll try and down one beer as quickly as possible and grab another one.
I'll finish off my second beer and then stand up.
I believe that leaves one beer.
One for the road.
Oh no, I grabbed that one.
Okay, there you go.
That's lucky, but not that lucky.
I do the classic student, just straight down the hatch.
Okay, yeah. Pete finally finishes berating the baity older fellow at the end of the bar. He just literally comes over and puts his elbow on the bar while you're like, "Right, let's go." Oh, well, that's fucking lovely of you.
But I'll say it's like, it's good talking to you, Pete. I'll see you again soon. Leave the bar.
Yeah.
Later, Pete.
Spend some bloody money next time.
I thought he had.
Anyway, Juria Blossom.
CP.
Right. So he picks up his dirty cloth and starts spreading the filth around the bar. In the way of bartenders everywhere. So yeah, you all heading off towards the wagons again?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, as you do that, you okay, why not? That's even better. As you get to the road heading east, it heads sort of northeast, but yeah. You see Brian's wagon. The covering for it is badly ripped on both sides, and like the hoop at the front is intact. The hoop in the middle is smashed, and the hoop at the back is like sagging. So it kind of looks like it's got two masts that are sort of leaning towards each other and it's like flapping sail. But yeah, it's sort of trundling along at like it's slightly better than walking speed. These are big pigs, but it's quite clearly evident that Brian's not controlling them very well. One of them appears to be trying to wander off. It might even be the big one that was in the lead, Rasher. Appears to have bitten through like one of the tethers. Is like pulling off to one side. This is why you can't do this to me, you poor sad bastards. Brian's sort of running along next to the wagon. He hasn't quite caught it up properly yet. He's holding the reins, but he's still walking next to it. Yeah, you see like every sort of 5 or 6 steps he tries to like hop on, but he hasn't really got the technique. So he does a little hop, like his bum hits the side of the seat, he slides off and has to run again to catch up.
How close are we to this cart?
It's probably a couple of 100 meters away.
We don't really want to catch it up. We probably want to stay a fair bit back.
Yeah, so it's moving off faster than you're catching up.
Okay.
It just hasn't gone very far because there's no one spurring these things on. They're just wandering off because they don't want to be here anymore.
Blossom's going to look at the rest of the group and go, it's an interesting technique to drive a wagon.
Oh, that's why you were the driver.
Pretty much, yeah. He wasn't much good at it. And I say, if you want a target for someone to go for, this is going to ask for more than this, to be honest.
Yeah. I think we should probably just stay far enough back that we don't get involved with the actual attack and just watch to see what happens.
What's the lay of the land like?
The lay of the land around here, it's there's like some fairly like severe hills. You've currently been like operating in a valley. This valley sort of comes to an end, and you come into like the main band of hills in the area to the north. And the road sort of splits sort of east and west. Like it loops around them to the north in either direction. Basically, there's no direct route north here. But if you head far enough west, you can turn north. If you head far enough east, you can go north or south towards London or the rest of the desolation, really. But it's pretty flat on the road. But there are hills either side. And these are old roads that have been, bulldozed and levelled before the desolation. Most of the old road surface is pretty ruined, but it exists.
Okay. Right. Just trying to think of. Okay, that's fine. That's okay.
Wandering along. Who's carrying the box with the tech in that you recovered?
I think Blossom had it.
Okay.
Because it was
Yes, technology.
Yeah.
I'm having it.
Yeah.
I couldn't recall whether you'd taken the box or you'd emptied it.
No, we did take the box because it
We
still
took the
had
box.
one good thing in it, and it had the rest of the damaged stuff at the bottom, which we figured might still be valuable because it's still damaged, like high tech stuff rather than.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Dan, one thing you do notice about these new companions is both of the rotters have these like black gloves on their left hands that come almost to the wrist. They join at the have a joint at the wrist. Comes up over the back of the hand, and it comes almost to the elbow. On it, it has what's clearly a big port for something to clip into, and a little like telltale light on the back of the wrist. Also, both of them seem to have sore eyes. Blossom has a sore left eye, it appears. It just looks a bit red and puffy. And Heinz has a sort of red puffy right eye. So you're not so sure about these people. You know, they're wearing weird gloves and they seem to have some kind of pink eye epidemic.
It's a cult.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, there are worse cults.
I haven't had anything for about half an hour at this point, so I don't know.
Yeah, so you're traipsing along the road. The wagon's heading east. It's just after midday. You haven't had any lunch. You were waiting for Brian to come back so you could go and get your lunch. Instead of eating, you had 2 beers and left. Which, admittedly, as what's essentially Desolation's equivalent of a truck driver is lunch.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Liquid lunch always good.
Yeah. But yeah, so Soras and Blossom, you both haven't had any lunch. Blossom didn't have any breakfast.
Should have had some bugs.
I'm going to want both of you to take an endurance physical, because you've now gone like 12 hours without, you've gone just over 12 hours without actually having a proper meal.
Seven.
12.
Okay.
My famous rolling is still occurring. It's yay.
Yeah, your famous rolling is still occurring. Yeah. Alright, well that 12, yeah, you're feeling pretty damn hungry. You'll definitely be ready for dinner. You've missed lunch and you had a light breakfast. But Blossom, you're getting that feeling like someone who's had a couple of pints and now is just craving a pie. You're walking along and you get that thing. You're walking along and you're tired and you're hungry, and it just starts taking its toll on you, and you're still knackered and beaten up from falling down that hill the other day. And your hip starts hurting again, your knee starts to go as well, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, this is no fun. At this point, the wagon is pulling ahead still, but it's definitely time for you to have something to eat.
I'm just gonna sit down on the side of the road, and rummage through my pack for some leftover scuzzle from the first night, and just start munching on that, and pull out some of the dying cola, because now that the prophet is not about, don't have to worry too much about him getting hold of my stash.
True. Alright, so what's Soras doing? Yeah, you're looking forward to a meal. You are a post-gen, it means you have to eat a great deal more than most people.
Yes. What is the terrain around us like?
It's mostly sort of scrubby grassland. There was a stand of trees back at Pete's, but only because it was in the shelter of a bunch of valleys sort of converging. At some point there was probably a river there.
Okay, but we've got sort of scrubby grassland.
Yeah.
Okay. So she still has a couple of bugs left on her stick. But obviously that's not going to continue her sort of going for much longer. So she calls over to Cecil. So it lands on her hand. Cecil, hungry? And so kind of almost like a crap version of sending off an eagle. Off he goes through the grass. And indeed finds Scuzzle.
You're sending him off looking for Scuzzles, yeah?
And sending him off looking for Scuzzles.
Okay. Do you want to roll for Cecil or shall I?
You do it.
Okay. Okay, shit. Alright. Yeah.
You don't do it.
After a while, Cecil spends a great deal of time sort of fluttering about. You get the impression he's just kind of enjoying having some space to fly around that's not outside a goddamn bush. And after a while, he comes back. He comes back and he's got like a big grasshopper. And he's like crunching it down sideways. He just kind of looks at you sideways and it's like, food. Dawns on you that Cecil's now been fed twice.
Yeah. So, yeah, Soros is going to kind of sit down in the style of a child that's just been given like a full plate of vegetables, and look at her bugs. Cecil's not fun, and just eat her last 3 remaining bugs.
Okay, so yeah. So Heinz and Dan, half of your group has now sat down to have a meal. What are you guys doing?
Well, you said that.
I can say, do they usually do this?
To be fair,
well,
it's lunchtime.
Yeah.
You're travelling on the road. Like,
I guess I did forget that I was the only one that actually had like food this morning. So, yeah, I guess it is that kind of time. Do you say there are the hills at the side of the road here, and it verges east and west further on?
There's hills to the north and south here.
Right.
Yeah, essentially it's like a T-junction.
Okay. Do you know which way he's going?
He
normally heads.
He's heading off to the east.
Yeah, he normally heads east this way.
So if we were to cut across like off road towards the eastern road, would we be able to catch him up a bit quicker?
You're on the east road.
Sorry?
You're on the east road.
Oh, okay, so it's not. I thought it was going on. Then it was
the
hitting a
intersection.
Okay. How is it? Quite long straight road.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it waves around a bit. You know, it goes around hills, and you know, it follows the route of an old road. So they go around old towns and things.
Yeah. So, but can we see him for like a while? So if we were set down and eat for like 10 minutes, would we lose sight of him?
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
I say, you know, you're in the full light of the day. I mean, you could see him if he was 3-4 miles away.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant he's not about to disappear around a hill and we'll lose sight of him.
No, he's not going that fast.
Yeah, no, I didn't think he was. I just wanted to make sure. So yeah, we may as well actually like stop and grab something. I don't know if you've got any food to have, but I'm right at the moment. I've just only had food recently.
As long as drink, I'll be fine.
Okay. So me and Lucky will just kind of stand around awkwardly waiting for us to finish eating.
In the fashion of those people who didn't bring out enough money to eat after the pub. The 2 sensible ladies sit down and have food, and the 2 blokes who didn't save money for after the pub stand there.
I have like a couple of tack, but I just don't want to. I'm not desperate enough to eat it yet.
Yeah, fair enough. You know, it's an unpleasant dining experience.
Yeah, and I have just eaten like less than an hour ago.
Oh yeah, you're all right. But yeah, but Dan hasn't had any lunch.
No. That's what I've got in my pockets here. Yeah. Anything dried or something stuck in there.
Give me a D12 roll, just a pure luck roll.
2. No.
2. Okay.
had something, but Cecil's now eaten it, so yeah, that's it.
You put your hand in for your trusty pocket crumbs, and you realise you gave them to Cecil. You rummage in your sock for your emergency sock bacon, and you realise you ate it yesterday. But you do have like that little crispy bit of fat that people pretty people often leave on like streaky bacon. Like you've got like the corner of it, the bit that's like really fatty. It's burnt to hell and crispy as heck, but it's something to chew on for about an hour and a half before you can eat it.
Stuck in your pocket when you last had a meal. I'm going to stick this in my pocket.
Well, I'm kind of hungry, but I'm not quite that hungry yet. I'll save that for emergencies.
Okay, fair enough.
Save that for later.
Yeah, it's sort of thing, you've made like a crispy bacon sandwich and it's just like snapped off. Yeah.
I'll save that for later.
Yeah.
Add it to the be an edible bacon grease.
Yeah. So yeah. There you are. You're all sitting there by the side of the road. Lunchtime turns into sort of late afternoon as you get back moving again. I'd say the wagon's probably moving about twice as fast as you now. So like it's moving gradually further and further away. It's still easily within like viewing distance. After following it for about another 2 hours, it stops. You might assume to pitch up for the night. But instead of the expected like someone coming and taking things off the back and setting up a tent or something, instead you see a large pig run off to the north.
That's back. He's off again. Take a good half hour at least for him to catch him.
A large pig running off to the north, and it might be a mile away, but you can just about see through like the scrub Brian's hat. It runs through the bushes, it runs through the brush after it. And if you really strain, you'll just about catch. Hi, Brian. Blowing in on the wind.
Well, do I stick around with that guy?
Well, it looked like a way of getting back to the Central Desolation and getting paid. I don't know. But yeah, there you are. The wagon has stopped. One of the animals has got away. Brian has left the wagon to chase down the animals. I mean, if you were a unscrupulous lot, it would only be 15 or maybe 20 minutes work to get to the wagon and maybe ransack it gently.
I was thinking that if we get close enough and he's not back yet, then it would,
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, and then we can still fall back to a safe distance and wait for someone else to attempt to ransack it after us.
There was always fussing about those wheel arches and may have hidden something there. Yeah, go on, let's have a look. Give it a go.
Do that then.
Okay. I want you all to give me an endurance physical for rushing up. I am going to attempt some kind of like rudimentary like wrangling of pig.
Quit.
5 in total.
So,
10.
I rolled a 9, but I think I have some horrific penalty to endure. Oh, that's exposure. Okay. Endurance is +3, so 12.
Okay. So yeah, Dan, you forge ahead. You're you know these roads well. You trust your footing. they mentioned that you can ransack your boss's old your old boss's
Oh,
stuff, and you're like, yes. You're like, but he was only carrying junk, and they're like, yes, but it's Brian's junk, and you're like, excellent point.
And you have some fine junk appraisers here to tell you what's actually junk and what isn't.
Yes, and you rush on off and get over there. What's your first sort of hunch of where Brian would keep the good stuff? You mentioned searching the wheel arch, isn't it?
Well, I say he did used to sort of always. Whenever he thought he wasn't being, whenever he thought there was no one else around, he was also just mucking about something underneath the actual main body of the wagon there. So I'm just going to have a look here when I've got a chance. I was definitely just going to listen out for the odd sort of waft of "I'm Brian" on the breeze. So, yep, he's still out there. I'm just going to have a look underneath and see if there's anything obvious, like a box taped underneath or anything vaguely like that.
Okay. Give me a perception.
Oh dear. Here we go. 8.
Okay. As you get under the wagon and have a good look, something about the rear right wheel doesn't look right, like the wheel arch, that sort of area. Something about it doesn't look quite right, but you can't really put your finger on what. I mean, something about how the boards fit together.
It doesn't quite look right. Okay.
It looks like you might be able to get something in there and open it up, maybe.
Well, let's get that bar out and see what we can pry open.
Okay, so yeah, you whip your bar out and you jam it on in. Right. Next was Heinz, I believe.
Yeah.
Heinz, you arrive at the wagon. Oh, fucking hell! How did he get here so quick? And you see Dan taking a wrecking bar to the rear wheel arch. What are you doing?
Well, I'm just assuming he just wants to get some revenge on his boss or something. He's going to mess his wagon up. I'm like, all right, fine. So I'm just going to go and open up the back, kind of lift the canvas out the way and have a look inside, and basically see if this guy, like the previous wagon we encountered, has hidden anything important under the piles of junk. So I'm basically just going to assuming I just see a pile of junk there, I'm basically going to shuffle it to lift it to one side or roll it over so I can kind of see if there's anything more valuable underneath that.
Okay. What you primarily see inside the wagon is barrels of old. It's barrels of old car parts mainly.
Okay.
But it's not big important engine parts. It's more like the stupid little bits, like that horrible little metal bar that joins the driver's side door to the body of the car.
It's like the rubbish you end up at the end of kits where you've used everything useful and you've got the crappy little bits that are
you've got the no doubt very important but entirely not obvious bits. Yeah. So you've got the biggest piece is probably about the length of a forearm, and you have no obvious idea of what it does. But it has a bolt through either end. And clearly it joins something to something.
Yeah.
Things like that. There's windscreen wiper arms and it's lots of gubbins. If you took this to someone mechanically minded, they might go "Oh, excellent! It's a grade 4B torsion lifting arm. Excellent, fantastic. I just need one of those." Whereas if you showed it to a bloke in the market, he'd be like, "It's a bit of metal with a hole in it. What? What am I going to do with that?"
So these are basically just all these, but it's just stacked up with these barrels with all these parts stuck inside of it, is it?
Yeah.
Do any of them look like they're can I tell if any of them I assume they're stacked in rows. If any of the ones kind of further back are smaller barrels that are stacked on top of something that makes it look like they're the same size as everything else, can I kind of peer around it and see if there's any kind of anything under them?
You can look under the barrels if you want. Yeah, I mean, they appear to just be full-size barrels with just like long stuff rammed down into them, mainly like narrow things that you can just fit a lot in. But as you have a little look around, you can see there is like a metal box, like a toolbox, that's sort of directly behind the driver's seat at the front.
Okay, I'm going to grab that out, have a look and see what's in it.
Okay, as you make your way around to grab that. Blossom, you've arrived. Heinz is climbing through the wagon, like get onto the driver's seat to rummage through the cargo. Dan is apparently sabotaging the wheel with a wrecking bar. What are you doing?
I am going to check round the driving seat or the front bench area to see if there's any hidden nooks and crannies there.
The hell is that?
Do apologise. Apparently, I have traffic managing to get through the office.
Huh. Okay. So yeah.
Someone needs to sort their silencer out.
Oh, we've got Reapers again. Who knows?
Oh god. So yeah, you rummage around underneath the driver's seat.
Tapping for
Yep, you
hollow points.
you tap on. You tap. And you find there's a hollow part. It seems to just be. There seems to just be a shallow hollow underneath the actual seat. There's a not particularly well concealed hinge. It doesn't seem
Try
to
and
be
open
locked.
it.
You just flip it
Yeah.
open.
Mhm.
And underneath there is there's like a slaughtering kit. And there's like a very long, sharp, flexible knife for getting meat off of bones. There's like a tube of like local anesthetic gel. There's a bolt gun, and there's like a small pamphlet on like how to cut the best cuts off of a pig.
I grab the bolt gun and the anaesthetic gel.
Okay. And as you take those out, you notice that underneath this there is just like a layer of pork jerky.
Oh, I grab a whole load of the pork jerky as well.
Yeah, so good old bacon jerky stuff. It's been like honey cured or something.
Nice.
I definitely grab a lot of the pork jerky and just keep shoving it in my bag.
Yeah. It's like compressed. It's like it's between like two layers of leather, just to stop like anything getting to it. It's been like rolled up like an old journal sort of thing. Like it has like the leather wrap all the way around it and like the strings to tie it.
Yep, I grab it.
Yeah, you essentially pick up. It's like picking up like a small dictionary. It's like, oh, what the hell's this? Oh, fuck.
Grab a piece out, start munching on it.
Yeah.
Squirrel it into my bag.
It tastes indescribably bad.
I'm a rotter, I can't taste much, so it's fine.
Oh, no. It tastes bad. Because, like, it may once have been pleasant. Clearly it's been honey cured. It smells nice. But you put it in your mouth and all you can taste is that weird, like, acrid taste of suede leather being put against food. What the fuck's that? It's kind of like the smell of shoe polish. The taste of like a mouldy walnut. It's profoundly unpleasant.
But it's a flavour that she can actually taste. So,
But it is a flavour you can actually taste.
Yeah, so she'll take that. Just it's sustenance. She'll keep eating.
Yeah. It's quite an enjoyable texture. It just tastes bad. But yeah.
Take a swig of Dying Cola in order to take away the taste.
Yeah. As you take a swig of the Dying Cola, the jerky actually becomes soft. Dankalar is so viciously potent at this point that the jerkied dried pork becomes soft before like dissolving slightly. The taste is indescribable, and not necessarily in a good way. But it is a flavour you can taste, so there we are.
Bonus.
Yes. So right, you all like managed to attend something. Heinz is getting the toolbox open. You've attained your pork. Dan, you've jammed your wrecking bar into into this little like join in the boards. Giving it almighty goddamn heave. Give me a strength.
Okay, let's have a look. Let's see what we get here. That's not too bad. That's an 11 in total. Oh, sorry, 12 in total. Can't count today.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. You give it an almighty goddamn heave. The short like pins that have been put in the place of nails to make it look normal. Just completely fail to hold this in at all, and the whole board. It's only a board about it's about the size of like a man's thigh. It's quite broad, but not very long. Just pops off, and you see behind it there is a recess, and in this recess there's just like a big bundle of wrapped tack.
How big a bundle are we talking here?
We're talking.
Size of a bread bin?
A tack biscuit we established is about that big.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about the size of like a small bread roll.
Yeah.
This is a bundle of those the size of a man's thigh.
That'll do.
So it's probably... it's probably sort of 12 long by like 4 wide by like 5 deep. It's a significant amount.
It's not bad, is it?
No.
Bloody hell, that's a lot of tack.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like going on 200 tack or something at that point.
340.
Yeah. So there's a decent amount of tack. But yeah, it's all like wrapped up in it's wrapped up in like a light canvas, and it's got like like belts around it to keep it tied up. Yeah. You did always wonder where your pay has come from.
Yeah. It'll do.
And there's like a loose end at one point where clearly some tack have been taken out at one point. There were more in here. But yeah.
I'll sort of tuck that in there and see if I can sort of just loop a strap over my arm or something. And
yeah. Also, all of these tacks seem to be new. Like tack biscuits are handed around a lot, but not many people can make them very easily. Like there's a very particular recipe, sort of thing, and otherwise they're very clearly not the real thing. Sometimes they even taste nice, which is how you can tell that it's not proper. If it molds or it tastes nice, it's not real tack. But like, these are. If these were bread, we would say they would still like. They might even still like have a tiny hint of warmth to them. Like, there's like some sweat on the inside of the canvas from these things having cooled in it. Clearly, someone's been minting some tack.
Yeah.
Giving it to Brian. Poor people.
He's Brian.
Yeah.
You explain where all his wealth has come from.
Exactly. But yeah, at this point, Soros turns up. What's Soros doing?
So she is watching these people just kind of decimate the cart. And the wheels that have been adjusted, are they the ones on the side that Soros is on, or are they on the other side?
The wheels haven't been just.
I've been doing them underneath my so it's the rear right hand wheel, wasn't it?
Yeah. You've seen someone stick a wrecking bar into the wheel arch. You don't necessarily see them do anything to the wheel.
Okay.
But you're standing directly behind.
Right. Okay. So you it would sort of almost look like they're being fixed.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's going to kind of climb onto the cart and ask them, what are you doing? Can I help? I can find some things. Have we got any shinies?
That's what we're just looking for. Have a poke around those barrels, see if you can see anything worthwhile.
So yeah, she'll have a look in the barrels to see if she can see anything shiny and small that she can give to Cecil, and anything else that might look like it could fit in her bag. So perception.
Yep. Cecil flies in and immediately finds like a reflector from the inside of a headlamp. Just sits there staring at himself.
Just Magpie's the multifaceted thing going on, just staring into that. It's brilliant.
She's gonna crit.
Oh, fucking yes. Excellent. Yeah, you look into the back and you can see, like, hidden in amongst all this junk, every so often there's quite clearly the barrel of a weapon.
Okay. Can she get to the barrels of the weapon? Can she pull them out?
Yeah.
Okay. She's going to pull one out and just kind of wave it.
Yeah. They're just stuck in like bundles of pipes and things. If you know what you're looking for, or you're really bloody lucky, it's like that is a gun.
How many of these guns can she see?
Two. Only two right now. Just in the closest barrel, you just look over and go, right, yeah. You see one tube. It doesn't appear to be very long, which is probably why Heinz dismissed it as just bits of car parts and junk. It looks kind of like an exhaust pipe. But when you look at it, you can see it's rifled.
Okay. So she's going to pull the two out, hold them in her hands and show the others and go, look what I found.
Yes, your Titanic toddler is waving around two guns that you could probably fit a beer can in.
It's got a buddy gun.
Have I ever seen anything like that before?
It's not common. I mean, it's very common for people to make guns because they aren't very abundant. But you haven't seen anyone make a gun out of what looks like to be a rifled exhaust pipe.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual. Is it like good quality or is it like kind of trash?
You'd have to get a real good look at it for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, does it just look like it's been? Is it actually an exhaust pipe that's been barrel, or is it someone's actually crafted this quite nicely?
It looks like a piece of crap that someone's made into a gun.
Okay, yeah.
Sort of thing. I mean, it might be a nice gun, but when it's being waved around like 7.5 feet in the air,
yeah,
it's hard to tell.
Be careful with that. That might go bang very loudly in your hand.
She's going to kind of look at it. How?
Good point. I'm going to use this answer to see if I can hear any sort of mention of Brian or anything like that at this point.
You're going to listen out for O'Brien, are you?
Yeah.
I'm going to look out for O'Brien.
I'm going to adjust the crazy toddler's holding of the gun so she doesn't shoot herself or me. Most importantly, me.
Okay. Yeah, you listen out for O'Brien. Who got what? What people get perception for Brian?
I've got a 9.
I got a 1 on the dice, so.
Cool. Dan, you're pretty sure you hear Brian's voice shouting angrily at something, but you can't make out the words.
Hmm.
It's probably still the pig. You're pretty sure you could hear like a pig going squeak. It's probably, he's tried to grab it and it's like run off. It's giving him the slip or he's fallen over. Fucking pigs. Why the fuck didn't I just get a dog?
Okay, I don't know how long we're going to have it left here, guys, so should we just grab what we can and...
Yeah, I mean...
Definitely sounds further away than the previous shouts.
Oh, okay.
So you weren't even at the wagon the previous time. But yeah. You've got the guns, you're praising the guns, you've got the money, you've got the jerky.
Got the toolbox.
Got the toolbox, that was it. Yeah, pop the toolbox open.
Yeah.
Okay. Inside the toolbox, you rather predictably see tools.
Cool.
But these are pretty good looking tools. They've recently been oiled. Most of them are in good condition. It basically looks like someone's ripped it out of a picture from a supplies catalogue. This looks absolutely pucker.
Nice.
Clearly this is being carried for someone.
Yeah.
This isn't the sort of shit you just keep in a wagon where you can fix everything with a mallet, a hammer, and some nails.
Yeah. These types of tools, do they seem like fairly basic or are they quite advanced? Like micrometers and things like this, or are they like just like nice looking chisels?
It's more like it's like mechanics gear.
Right.
So it's all fucking torsion wrenches and fancy spanners and shit.
Okay, so it's basic kind of mechanical stuff, just nice quality stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the sort of thing that most men in their 30s will think about buying at some point. And most men in their 30s will go, "Oh, I need one of those," and their dad can turn up with a really nice one they can't afford. That sort of thing, Most men in their 40s own one of these. Or want to. They sit there with the catalogue open and go, "Cool, that's amazing. What do you think of that, love?" And they go, "You never use it." He's like, "Always, she's right." To be fair,
this feels like personal experience.
Maybe I'm being cruel. Some women in their 40s probably also look at these magazines and say, "I could use that." And their husband goes, "No, you wouldn't." And they go, "I fucking would." But there we are. Yes. There we are. I mean,
I've got a cool box of tools, got some guns. Should we get out of here before Brian gets back so we can go back to stalking him from some degree of safety?
Give me a second. I'm just going to try and put this board back in and just make it look like it hasn't, well, it's not going to look perfect. It might just pass muster for 2 seconds and just checks it and jumps back in the wagon.
True. He might not bother checking. He might just jump back on the wagon and leave.
So just try and just wedge it back in place at this point, just see if it will stay put.
Yeah.
And leg it.
Yeah. I'd say the small nails on this are basically like push pins. So you just put it in place and push, and they just dig in. They don't dig in very well.
Are the pigs still attached to the wagon?
Yeah. 2 of them.
Which 2 are still attached?
The 2 who are attached are
Middle and Basher, isn't it?
It's middle and back.
Ah, Basher wandered off.
Yeah, Rasher bit through the bridle and wandered off. Yeah, so you're standing here, but you've got nice friendly back who is sitting there like snuffling at you as you try and as you ransack things from the front. And middle, like middle always does. Middle is basically just standing there motionless, trying to listen to things, because middle is the reason that the pigs are banned from Pete's. Because middle broke in and ate the brewer's wort and is now permanently blinded. Because pigs cannot become sober if they get drunk. Their intestinal process is so slow that things continue to ferment inside them.
Amazing.
Apparently, I've heard.
So middle is the little one.
Middle is the littler of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, not little, but littler.
Middle is what you would picture when you say pig. The other two are closer to what one might picture if they said bear. They are a pig shape, but they are very large.
Okay. Well, Saurus had taken quite a shine to Middle, and decides to unhook him. It.
I dare say you didn't stop to check.
Yeah, probably unlikely. And we're on Twitch, so it's best not. So.
To be fair, it's Saurus, just hello, pig.
Yeah. Saurus doesn't care, but does want this one to come with them. So, kind of just like undoes the rope, but keeps the rope around Middle's neck and kind of drags Middle towards the others. Go, I can keep him. I look after him, and Cecil will help me. Won't you, Cecil?
Probably not a good idea to take the pigs.
But he's my friend.
Yeah, he's your friend, but if
It work.
he's gone, then someone's going to realise that someone's been at this cart.
Friend.
But we did. We went inside. Look, I found the guns.
Yes, but we don't want the person who owns the cart to know there was someone here. It's like playing a game.
Why?
Because it's not a good idea to rummage through other people's stuff.
Okay. As you finish saying it, you can hear from Alpha in the bushes, "Got you, you fucker!"
I'm going to look at the others and just shout, not shout, just say Scarpa, and then just leg it towards the closest stand of trees away from the sound.
Yeah, run for some cover.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And I think Saurus is going to follow, but it's like, yay, running!
Dragging the pig with you.
I'm going to use a different stand of trees or low ditch or...
Okay. Oh, excellent. So yeah, you're all going to run in separate directions for cover. One of you pulling.
No, I'm going in the same direction as Blossom. Right,
Okay,
yeah.
you're going to go with Blossom.
I don't know. I'm in front of Short Arse, so I don't know where she's going.
Yeah. Okay then. So yeah, you all you run for cover, and I think we're going to leave it there.
Yeah.
As you run off with your new pig. So yeah, wonderful. That'd be an interesting one. An interesting load of notes to write up for this session. So yes, that was Brass's first session.
Huzzah. Good fun.
Yeah, and that was Monday Night Get Nuked. I was thirsty. I was the world. I was the pigs, and Brian. Hi, Brian. Yeah, if you want more of that kind of content, you can find me here on Twitch. You can find me on YouTube at Bloodthirsty Puppets. You can find me on Twitter at thirsty_BTP, and you can find me on bloodthirstypuppets.co.uk. So yeah, that was all good. So we shall do the rounds. Where can we find you? What do you do? Was that good? And we shall start with Spanners.
Ooh, I am Spanners. That was awesome. I had so much fun. I have played these ridiculous, hyper-intelligent characters for so long, and now I get to play an idiot, and it's brilliant. You can find me also on bloodthirstypuppets.co.uk. You can find me on Twitter at spanners_BTP. You can find me here every Monday, unless I get dragged off for boring work stuff. You can find me in other places. You can find me on my Twitch channel, actually, at BTP_Spammers, where I host Bloodthirsty Puppets. It's sort of puppets in puppetception. And rather than finishing on anything else, I have a little message for Corone, because we didn't get to work together this week, and it's been a bit chaotic. So this is for Corone. Oh no, it's fallen over. No.
Oh, self-censored.
Yeah, it's been censored. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there we are. That's an air of professionalism to the work.
That is our workplace.
Yeah, excellent. So, next to keep with with strident professionalism and good contact at all times, Lilth.
I'm Lilth. I was playing Blossom. I had lots and lots of fun. You can find me on Twitter at Purple Beeholder because I changed it. You can find me here on a Monday night, and hopefully at some point we will restart my D&D on Saturdays for on Kit's channel for that, hopefully on a Saturday. And coming up, we also have a Corpses and Curios special, also on Kit's channel, at the dirty, horrible time of midnight for me. Yeah.
A brave woman.
Date.
Transatlantic play. Huzzah.
Yay. So it's not next Saturday, it's the following Saturday. Currently, hopefully.
Fair enough.
Yes. So that's me. Yay.
Right. Feeling brave yet, Brass?
Yeah, always brave. I'll give it a go.
Anyway.
Hello, I'm Brass Viking. So far, I am just on here. So hopefully I'll see all you guys next Monday. Might have been a few other places as well, but mostly just here. See you around.
Damn, that was concise. That was really good.
That's unusually concise to me. I know it's weird. I've lost it already. Damn.
That's so much. It's reassuring. My God. That bad. Anyway, so Tech.
Yes.
Play us out.
For me, yeah, good sessions today. I had quite fun. It's quite interesting trying to steer a large kind of herd
of cats,
grumpy, or not, a large, very happy, very destructive toddler. It's quite good fun. I could imagine how everyone felt when I was playing my.
In that early war campaign.
but yeah, it's been really good fun. I'm really enjoying it so far, and I quite like this character. So yeah, where I am, you can find me on the Bloodthirsty Puppets Discord channel, which you can find in Blood or Thirsty's Twitter info, and probably a link to my website. You can also find me at the website, bloodthirstypuppets.co.uk. I don't really do Twitter, so yeah, those are probably the two best places. And here next Monday, I expect.
Excellent. So yeah, that's all from us. So thank you for watching. Those of you who jumped into the chat, thank you for that. Corone, damn you for remembering that the stream element stuff works because no one else does. Yeah, drink up, folks. Cheerio.
It is.
Right. How was that?
That was good.
Yeah. So,
That was good.
Oh my God. Yes. It's nice to see. It's nice to see you getting some karmic sort of retaliation for that fucking campaign where you played Grox, and our elite spec forces team turned into babysitting the Ogren.
Oh,
It wasn't really elite much. It was more a case of the Dirty Dozen babysitting an Ogren, trying to stop them from eating children. But yeah, it worked.
Yeah. I did like the fact that we managed to have the poorest regiment that was so good at stealing stuff ended up actually having lots of really good equipment.
Yes, that was good.
Had no resource points, but you'd stolen pretty much everything you could ever want.
That's right.
Yeah, if you look very carefully, everything and all the numbers fired off of it.
Yeah, and
If you get a fresh coat of paint
over the top of everything, where they hadn't really done a good job. They just grabbed some spray cans and got over the camo with something different.
I think we actually wrote into the regiment's
You did,
backstory, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
because we figured out who it was we'd nicked it all from, and they knew about it and were pissed and kept sending us on suicidal missions because we'd stolen their stuff.
Yeah.
amazing.
See, this is what geekdom's really all about. I mean, the games are good, but it's the reminiscing about shit that never happened. That's really at the core of geekdom. When people go home and and tell spouses and loved ones we killed a dragon. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah,
Even though
I
most people
still
find it
talk
really
about Timmy like she's real.
Timmy is real.
And a meter as well.
Yeah.
Damn right. But yeah, thanks for playing again, guys. And thanks for playing for the first time, Brass.
Yeah, really good fun. I've enjoyed it.
That was really good fun. That was
It
really
was good.
That was a laugh.
Good fun.
Excellent.
It was.